everyone, we are the district number 3 from 11 STEM 2D. Today, we're about to report the 6 steps in hypothesis testing. So, sit back, fasten your seatbelts, listen, focus, and let us all enjoy and love exploring the world of statistics and probability in mathematics. Without further ado, let's get started. Hello, my name is Monte Evangelista, and today I am assigned to tackle the first 3 steps in hypothesis testing. But before anything else, let's have a little bit of a recap. What is hypothesis testing? When we say hypothesis, obviously as what we have recalled during our past learnings, hypothesis is a tentative statement or assumption made in order to draw out and test its logical or empirical consequences. Therefore, hypothesis testing refers to the formal procedures used by statisticians to accept or reject statistical hypotheses. In hypothesis testing, there are 2 types of hypothesis. The first one is the null hypothesis. This is the hypothesis in which we compare and reject. This is a statement where there is no significant relationship or difference between the variables, and it is denoted by H sub 0. The other one is the alternative hypothesis, which is a statement where there is a significant relationship or difference between the variables, and it is denoted by H sub 1. In alternative hypothesis, there are 2 categories, which is directional and non-directional. Directional alternative hypothesis is a one-tailed test. It is a statistical hypothesis test in which alternative hypothesis has only one end, either left or right. Meanwhile, in non-directional alternative hypothesis, this is a 2-tailed test, a significant test in which alternative hypothesis has 2 ends, both left and right. There are a lot of various types of test statistics and hypothesis testing. One of those is z-test, t-test, ANOVA, the parametric tests, and non-parametric tests. However, we are just going to focus on t-test because this is what we are going to use for today's video. There are 2 types of t-test. The first one is t-test for 1 and 2 sample case. We will use this type of test if n is less than 30 and assuming the distribution of samples is normal. Another is that when the data measurement is interval and 1 variable only is needed to be tested. The other one is t-test of 2 correlated samples. This is commonly used for experimental research when any significant change, improvement, or reduction in the measurable variable after the treatment is attributed where data measurement required for this is at least interval. Now, let us proceed to the first 3 steps in hypothesis testing. Step 1. Statement of the problem. This is used in research as a claim that outlines the problem addressed by a study. Step 2. State the hypothesis. We are going to state both of the null and alternative hypothesis in words. Step 3. Test statistics. We are going to identify the appropriate test statistics and the category of the alternative hypothesis. Now, let us proceed to the given problem and let's try to apply the first 3 steps and find the answers together. Now, let's test the hypothesis in our given problem step by step. Step 1. Statement of the problem. Our statement of the problem is: did the instructions given to the participants significantly affect their level of recall? Why is it in our step 1, this is our statement of the problem? This is because this outlines our given problem. This is the gap or the claim in which we need to find answers and prove to. The participants were given instructions and we need to prove later on if it indeed affects their level of recall or not. This is why this is our statement of the problem. Step 2. State the hypothesis. We are going to state both of the null and alternative hypothesis in words. Remember, the null hypothesis is a statement where there is no significant relationship or difference between the variables and is denoted by h sub 0. Meanwhile, the alternative hypothesis is a statement where there is a significant relationship or difference between variables and is denoted by h sub 1. Therefore, in stating the hypothesis, we are just going to base it from the step 1, which is our statement of the problem, and we are going to determine the null and alternative hypothesis from it. So, our null hypothesis, that is denoted by h sub 0, is: did the instructions given to the participants did not significantly affect their level of recall. Meanwhile, our alternative hypothesis, which is denoted by h sub 1, is: did the instructions given to the participants significantly affect their level of recall. And lastly, step 3, test statistics. We are going to identify the appropriate test statistics in the category of the alternative hypothesis. In this given problem, the appropriate test statistics is the t-test of 2 sample case. Since our n is less than 30, which is in fact our n is 20 and it is in pairs, we are given 2 sample cases. Meanwhile, the category of the alternative hypothesis in this given problem is the two-tailed test, which is the non-directional alternative hypothesis. That's it for my part. I hope you have followed quite well, and please sit back for my co-reporter who will be discussing the rest of the steps, and they will also continue to answer the given problem together with the next 3 steps in hypothesis testing. Maria and Joddel, take over.
Hello everyone, I am Maria and Cuesta, and today I am assigned to discuss and do a demo on step 4, getting the variance and hypothesis testing. Now without further ado, let's start. But before anything else, what is variance? In probability theory and statistics, variance is the expected squared variation of a random variable from its population mean or sample mean. Variance is a measure of dispersion, or how far a set of numbers deviates from its average value or mean. Now that we know what variance is, let's go through on how to get it with the help of Microsoft Excel. Step 1. We are going to open our Microsoft Excel application in our PC or laptop. Then step 2, we are going to input and encode our data according to the problem given or shown earlier in the picture. As you can see here, I am just typing shallow processing and then adjusting it, and then typing deep processing, and then also adjusting it. After that, I am going to input our actual numerical data. after encoding the numerical data, I am going to make a table below with its label as variance. See here, I am labeling it. Then step 3 is to use the formula equals to var.s, open parenthesis, select your range of data, the numerical data I inputted earlier, select it, close parenthesis, and then press enter. Now do the same for the other side of the table for deep processing. Select your range of data, then close parenthesis, press enter, and then for step 4, we are going to round it off to the nearest thousands. Highlight it, and that is how you get your variance using Microsoft Excel. And that's how you get the variance in 4 simple steps. I hope you are still with us as we are not yet done with step 4. I'm signing off. Joddel, take over.
Hello guys, I am Joddel G. Damaolao from District 3 in Math 2 under Miss Anafer Bismanos. And today we're going to continue on the next step in finding the p-value. The next step is go to the tool data. And at the right side of the tool, there is a data analysis tool there. If you don't have this tool, you still have to download it. Click Data Analysis. And since this is a t-test 2 sample hypothesis, find the t-test 2 sample and click OK. The next thing you're going to do is to apply the variables in the given. Let's start with variable 1. And then variable 2. After that, put 0 in the hypothesis mean and check the labels. Since our alpha is 0.05, so we don't need to change it. After that, press the output range. And then press OK. Since we're going to use the two-tailed, so our p-value is 0.053572. That's it for the 4th step demonstration in using Excel in hypothesis testing. I hope you understood the procedures and have learned a lot with us. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I am Disuyo. Today, I'm assigned to discuss the different steps of hypothesis testing, which are the 5 and 6. Without further ado, let's go. Step 5. Decisions. This is when we finally decided whether we will accept or reject the null hypothesis after knowing the findings. And lastly is step 6, interpretation. This is when we state the final conclusion and implication of the study. Now let us proceed in continuing to answer the given problem together with the last 2 steps in hypothesis testing, which is the step 5 and step 6. Now let's continue with our step 5, decision. Fail to reject the null hypothesis. Why is it that we fail to reject the null hypothesis? This is because from the findings done by Joddel a while ago, the p-value is 0.0535 3572, which is greater than the alpha whose value is 0.05. Therefore, the null hypothesis has failed to reject. Now lastly is the step 6 interpretation. The instructions given to the participants did not significantly affect their level of recall. Remember the steps to state hypothesis by Claire a while ago? The null hypothesis was, did the instruction given to the participants significantly affect their level of recall? Since we failed to reject the null hypothesis, we rejected the alternative hypothesis, and all that is left is that we have proven that our null hypothesis is true. Therefore, our conclusion for this hypothesis test is that their level of recall has significantly did not affect because of the instructions given to the participants. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. I hope you have learned a lot about the last two steps in hypothesis testing.
All great men and women begin with a dream of something wonderful and is different from what you have today. Big dreams start small. Break down your big goals into mini goals. That's how you make success look easy. What I am trying to say is, we need to breathe. Never give up in your dreams, even if it takes you so long to achieve it. Take things slow at your own pace and take one step at a time, for everything in life has a right time. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end. I hope you have learned a lot and will apply your learnings about the 6 steps in hypothesis testing. Once again, we are the district number 3 from 11 STEM 2D. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and we will see you next time. Peace out!